don't see myself. Do you? Hi, guys. Let me see if I can get this going. We got a lot to talk about. We got a lot to talk about. But I currently don't see myself, so I don't know if we're streaming. Let's do this. Hey, is it working? Is it working? Hi. Please confirm that you can see me because I can't see me. So I don't know if this is working. Oh boy, let's put the phone away. Yes, you can see me? Yay! Thank you guys. Welcome. Yay. Oh my goodness. We have so much to talk about. Have you guys been watching the live feeds and have you guys been on Twitter with me? Because what a fun day. Yay. Yay. This is definitely going to have spoilers, everybody. Spoilers. It's not as fun without David. Spoilers. We got to talk about Holly's HOH intentions. Let's talk about the prankster. Let's talk about that Taco Tuesday part dose that just happened. Fajita Friday. Woohoo! Yay! All right. Where do we begin? We begin with a Holly winning HOH. How do you guys feel about a Holly HOH? We're coming off of a Jackson HOH, so it's very, very similar. Hunter, we're back to the dark timeline. We were barely out of it this whole season. Spoilers, yes. Taco Tuesday / Fajita Friday. Holly's HOH is just like an extension of Jackson's HOH that we just came off of. Where even though Christie and Sis were on the block the whole week is talking about Nick and how Nick is the target and Nick is so scary. And it's like, you didn't put him on the block, so why are we talking about him? Why aren't we talking about Christie, who is the real target, who you can't trust? She talked bad about you, Jackson, remember? No, he forgot. He forgot all about it. Yes, thank you, Stephanie, for reminding me. I'm so bad at saying, please give this video a like. Ugh, not good at that stuff. But we appreciate all of your likes and subs and comments and chatting and all of that stuff. It makes it fun. That's why we do this. So, yeah, right? Low-key wish Nick had won just because that's a power change and everyone's talking about him and scared of him. So if he had won, that would have been fun for him to put up whoever. Honestly, don't even care at this point. But Holly won. Now, she initially was saying last night, you know, Nick is her target, obviously, and she was concerned, like, who I would put up next to him. But Christie had said, use me however. So Holly's like, easy pawn. I'll just put Christie up. But this morning, they got the details of the prankster. And so they were given exactly how this is going to go down, which is Holly can put up one nominee, and the prankster will put up the second nominee. So she doesn't even have to worry about a pawn. She just needs to put up her target. So a lot of people were sitting outside, like right outside the diary room, like after they got this information, because people are being called into the diary room and they're like, who's going to get prankster? Like, I want to see them come out. I want to see their face and like see how they play it off. Like, who's going to be the prankster? So there was a lot of sitting around there, and there was a lot less one-on-ones. It was like almost like Holly's HOH like barely counts. People were like, whatever. She talked to a few people, but she did not talk to everybody. Which is funny. Nova says, do you think Holly is playing the best game? No, Nova, I do not. Here's my thoughts on Holly, and I would love to hear y'all's thoughts, because in the beginning, she reminded me of Angela, that like quiet, dark horse. She seems much smarter than a lot of people in the house. So I really was like holding out hopes. And then she had an HOH, so great. Points for her. She put up Nick and Sam, which were like kind of the two people everyone was talking about at that time. So points for her. But then when at the end of that HOH, I just didn't feel like she made a strong choice. She just kind of made the easy choice because her alliance was pushing her. And now this HOH all day, well, let's back up. All last week, she was talking about how scary Nick is. And Jackson was like, I want Christie to go. And she was like, oh, I'm so scared to put Christie up. I'm so scared to evict Christie. She always talks about what she's scared of. And now that she's HOH, and she's like, obviously, Nick is the target, but I'm so scared to put him up. Like, she really wants everyone else to make the big moves. And if all you talk about is what you're scared to do, then I feel less good about you. Like, she's obviously not one of the worst players in the house. We got a few crappy players, but she's not making like bold move. Like, it's my HOH, let's go. I don't feel like she really wants to make strong choices. So she's not one of my faves. You know what I mean? But she's not the worst, if that makes sense. Eddie says Christie's a big target who will talk herself out of the, like, I don't even understand. Like, literally the feeds just had this like semi blow up. It didn't turn into quite what Taco Tuesday was, but like just listening to Christie talk, I mean, we know she talks constantly, but she will talk over you and then also tell you what you are gonna say, what you mean. So like she's having a two-way conversation with just herself. And so I can see why the people listening would be like, oh yeah, and just believe everything she says because she's kind of covering everything. But it's also just a red flag. It's just like she's so shady that she can't let you talk. She has to say what you're thinking so that, like, that just to me is untrustworthy. But I don't know. Like, I just tweeted out that like I would have been evicted week 2. Because I would have been like, this girl's shady. I'm after her, and everyone's on her side. So they would have been like, Sarah gotta go. Okay, what was I talking about? So much happened. So that's how Holly's day started, is that obviously Nick is her target. She only has to put one nom up. It's probably going to be Nick, but she's so scared. She's so scared. Do I do it? Like, that's literally why they left Christie in to take the shot, and then Holly accidentally wins HOH. She just really doesn't want to make this move. But again, I'm going to say spoilers. Nick is the prankster. Okay, we gotta talk about this because Twitter is divided, and I'd love to hear what you guys think. But Nick came out and went into the bathroom and said, "Thank you, America. Thank you, I'm the prankster." So that's the only way we know, because he has kept it a secret so far. I don't have high hopes that it will be a secret by tomorrow. But So far, he's keeping it a secret. No one else knows. A lot of people are assuming, but they're also assuming Cliff and, like, you know, popular people. So Christie's hoping it's her. But it's Nick. And I think that the votes for Nick is just because we knew Holly was HOH. So I don't feel bad about this. I think that that's disruptive and that's hilarious. So, like, what do you guys think? Because I think that's funny. He's obviously her target, and he gets to put up one of the noms. We're literally watching a game where we mess with people in a house. Like, this is just messing with them. I love it. I love it. Okay, wait, what are you guys saying? Wait, I'm backing up. You guys are saying interesting thing. What's the point of keeping Christie if she's the one taking out Nick? Well, because apparently people are too scared to do it themselves, so they want her to do the power moves for them. Exactly. Yeah, they're scaredy cats. You guys are saying it. How does she get away with this much? They are snowed. She has some Christie mist that, so Donna was asking who, you know, about the prankster. It was Nick, and we know this, and, so here's the question, though. Nick is he's fairly certain he's going to be the nominee. So who does he put up next to him? It's a very good question. Yeah, I think a lot of people voted for Nicole. Fonda Smith says that you voted for Nicole. And a lot of other people had commented on our video last night that they were voting for Nicole. Most of what I heard was Nicole and Nick. And Nicole is obviously a great option if you love her and you just want to give her something. But I don't know that what she would have done. I think she probably would have sat down with Holly and been like, it's me. Like, let's work together. So it wouldn't have been super disruptive, you know, but it would have been nice just to give her something if you like her. But Nick is the choice if you want to sort of mess with things. So I feel like he's either going to put Christie or Jackson up. What do you guys think? Right. It's different. He's not HOH. You guys are clarifying. He's not HOH, but he does get, like, partial HOH power. He gets to put up one of the noms. And if his nom is taken down, like if that person wins veto, he gets to do the replacement. This is really good power. I can see why if you don't like Nick, you would be mad that he has this much power. But, again, disruptive. Yeah, Seth, you think Christie is the most obvious choice for Nick. Like, you would think that. This whole week was like this Nick-Christie battle all week, so you would think he would put Christie up. But I can't always understand what Nick is thinking. A lot of you are saying Jackson. I feel like even though there have been times where Nick is like, Jackson, we're good, he could be thinking, oh, it's Holly's HOH. I should put up someone in her camp, take away a vote on that side that helps keep him safe. So that's valid if he were to put up Jackson. I wouldn't hate either pick. I wouldn't hate Jackson or Christie being his nominee. If he puts Jess up, I'm gonna be mad because, like, that ain't why we voted you in to put Jess up. No. Donna says if Nick puts Christie, she may actually cry real tears. She will. Her real tears are only about her. She doesn't cry real tears for other people. Grant says you should put Christie up and sell why she needs to go. Exactly. Like, if it's you versus someone else, campaign why she needs to go. And there's plenty of reason that you can say she needs to go. It would be very interesting to see how the votes come down if it's the two of them next week, at the end of the week. He wants him to leave on Holly's HOH. Classic Joe. Are you saying he wants Jackson to leave on Holly's HOH? Because that would be interesting. I don't know if that's how Nick's brain would work. He's hard to read sometimes. Nick definitely can't always understand what Nick is thinking. Exactly. He says a lot, and I don't always understand. Yeah. Oh, classic Joe, you're saying please pick Christie. Okay. Linda, he won't be able to keep it a secret. I don't think so either. And I thought he would tell Tommy or Nicole as like an ally, like help me talk through who I should put up, but he didn't. He was actually called into the diary room to do his noms before Jackson, Holly, and Christie called him up to the HOH for this like little fight that they just have. Hi, yes, I'm live. Thank you for joining. Nick versus Christie on the block would be amazing. I agree. I think that would be very fun. I would love to see them battle that out for veto. That would be very interesting. Seth, apparently Nick is contemplating putting up Jess. Well, that's just his target. He's been talking about Jess for at least a week. He's been talking about Jess a lot this whole season, but this whole past week, he was like, Jess is my target. She's got to go. I got to put her up. So he just has this like personal, because she has been saying I'd put up Nick. So like the two of them have this like personal thing against each other. So if he had won HOH, I think that would have legitimately been his target. But this is a little different, and he just really cannot waste putting Jess up against himself. Like that's just dumb. Dumb! But people do dumb moves in the house all the time, just like Jackson and Holly keeping Christie. So dumb. They also spent a lot of time today talking about how they don't trust Christie and how they're scared of Christie. And it was literally last night that you guys voted to keep her. And already this morning, Christie was talking to Holly, and Christie's like talking about, you know, final twos, final threes, and she just talks too much. And Holly was like, wait a minute, like you were promising us like 5th place. You were promising to be a pawn. That was another thing when Holly was like, you might be a pawn. And Christie was like, well, you know, not loving it, kind of like, well, you know, whatever. And Holly was like, to Jackson, she was like, I'm already worried about her. Like, she's already backtracking. And I'm just like, yes, hello? What? Did these people really believe her? I mean, obviously they really did if they kept her, but why? I really feel like obviously Christie's saying helps Tommy. It could potentially help Nick because she could go back to him at any time. It doesn't hurt Cliff or Nicole, really. It really only hurts Jackson and Holly because that is who she's going to turn against. Ah! I get so wound up about this. I'm so glad you guys are here to talk this out with me because I get so wound up. Okay, back to you. Yes, Donna, if Nick puts Jess up, then his power is a waste and he would go home. Exactly. And like, why did people vote for him? Such a waste. Right. How does this benefit their game? Velvet says it'd be cool if Christie and Nick played the house and worked together. I could see that. I can see that happening because Christie changes with the wind. She hates you 1 second, loves you the next. Literally loves you the next. It could very easily happen. Sis, Tommy, and Nick was a trio, though. Yeah, Grant. No, that's definitely valid. That is a very, very valid, and that's why Sis leaving does hurt Tommy and Nick. I get that. I just don't think it really helps Jackson. But absolutely. Very, very good. A good point. Yeah, Christie saying it was the dumbest move ever. It's all bull, what she promised. Yeah. What was interesting is today when she was sort of talking about, they first called it, okay, let's talk about this. Too many things to say. So Christie and Nick apparently had a convo right before HOH. So feeds were down. We didn't see it. We don't know what was really said. But from Christie's perspective, Nick was trying to get her to throw the HOH to him. From Nick's perspective, Christie was sort of like, we're good. We're good. So they both tell Holly about this, but obviously conflicting conflicting information. So Holly was like, which one is it? So Holly and Jackson decide we're going to ask Christie about it and ask Nick about it. Well, when they ask Christie about it, she like is lit. She's through the roof. She is like, how dare he say that I would throw this competition to him? He's obviously my target. And she said, I made him public enemy to keep me here. And that sounds to me like a strategic choice. I made him my public enemy to keep me here. So she's admitting that this was a plan, this was orchestrated. So that is another red flag of like, this isn't real. She could still be working with Nick. They don't know. Or she could just like easily go back to Nick at any time because she made him her public enemy to stay here. That is not a trustworthy person. But who am I? What do I know? What do I know? I'm over the let someone else take the stab. I know, we've heard that so much this season. They really love keeping other targets in the house to take out other targets. And that just only works like every once in a while. You cannot base your whole gameplay on that. It just is not going to work. You're not going to win that way. Not gonna happen, guys. I guarantee you. Who makes guarantees? And you'll play this back if I'm wrong, but I have to imagine Jackson will go out at Christie's hand. I really think that she will have something to do with his eviction, like her HOH, or she'll orchestrate it in some way, and he will regret this choice. That's just what I think. Seth, if Nick puts up Christie and then Tommy wins the veto, will he use it on Christie again and risk exposing their final two? No, I think Tommy will stay out of it completely. I think that he was prepared to let her go and keep Sis, and he's just going to like, play this middleman, which he plays so well. Nobody wants to put Tommy up except for Cliff and Nicole. He's in such a good place. Even today, Holly and Jackson were like, going through possibilities, and they were like, I don't want to put Tommy up. I don't want to put Tommy up. Like, he's so golden. He's winning the game. Winning. John, I don't see Tommy saving Christie again without looking. Yeah, exactly. He's just not even going to waste his game. He's so sitting pretty. Doesn't matter at all. Yep, Christie said it. Heard that. And she also admitted, she was like, and then I told it, like, she's going through her whole dramatic spiel. She's standing on the bed. She's like, and I said, we're good. And I was like, okay, you said it. You said we're good. So I can 100% see that conversation sounding like we're good. And then she says it to them in a different way. Not trustworthy. Not. Linda says Tommy would secretly love if Christie left the game. I think you're right. I think he knows she's a liability. She's dangerous. She could rock the boat at any moment, which she does all the time, and dangerous for him. So, and also if she's in the jury, he's getting her vote, right? If he goes to final two and Christie's in the jury, he has her vote. He needs her gone, but at someone else's hand. He can't have anything to do with it. So yeah, I agree. Yeah, someone just said, Theo, I just realized it's final eight. I know they did the table swap today, and that little tiny table is in at final eight. It's crazy. And Nicole got teary over that moment because she loves this game. She's a super fan. It means something to her. I love it. I love it so much. Classic Joe, shaking my head. Jackson should have took out Christie. I know. Oh, did production give him something? I don't buy into production. I have worked on these types of shows. I really, when people say, oh, he came out of the DR and now he thinks differently, I don't think it's production. I don't buy into that because here's how DR sessions work. It's almost like therapy, right? The house guest goes in there and the producer has to ask them 1,001 questions because they have to get all of the angles. They have to put together a story. So they will ask, well, what did so-and-so say to you? And how do you feel about that? Do you believe they're trustworthy? Like, they have to ask all these questions to get all of these sound bites to put together the story. And you work through it like therapy, where you're like, talk it out, and it makes you think about things you hadn't thought about before. You might cry it out, and then you might get mad, and then you might leave the room with a completely different perspective, but that's because you worked through it from all these angles. I don't personally feel like anyone in the DR is necessarily like, but if this happened, that's how I see it just from my experience working in production. I've never personally worked on Big Brother, so I could be wrong. That's just my perspective from the shows I have worked on. Hi, Yvette. Thanks for joining late. Thanks for joining. Yay. Linda, just seeing Christie gloat about, oh my gosh, yes. She had the nerve to say in a room with Jackson, Tommy, and Holly that she just turned a whole house around and got sis evicted. And Jackson cut her off and said, new topic, or change, new, whatever he said. Yeah, literally, the ego on this girl is through the roof. Through the roof. And another thing I saw, Stephanie, remind me, I'm going to go back to the fight in just a second, but another thing I saw about Christie's ego that just blows my mind is a little conversation between her and Tommy. Okay, we haven't talked much about the loudspeaker incident. David and I didn't talk about it on our video, but if you don't know, someone hired a DJ to announce on a loudspeaker over the wall that Tommy and Christie know each other. Now, they did a horrible job. If you're gonna do that, it needs to be short and to the point. What it needed to say was, Tommy and Christie have known each other for X amount of years. Tommy and Christie have known each other for X amount of years. And you repeat it over and over again because Big Brother's going to shut it down. They're only going to hear a few words. So get to the point. It was very long and convoluted. And the house guests have not spoken about it much in the house for us to even decipher what they heard, how much they heard. But there was a quick little convo between Tommy and Christie that does confirm that Tommy, because he was outside, Tommy did hear it and knew what they were attempting to say. And Christie said that she talked to production and said, this cannot happen again. We need security. And I was just like, the audacity of this girl to think, she said, that's just not fair. She loves to say things are not fair. And I'm just like, you are literally playing a game with an unfair advantage, and you think that you have some right to be like, this should never happen again. We need security. That's not fair. Head explode, you guys. Where does she think she gets off? I don't. Help me out with that one. Help me around the help me around the. Okay, going back to the fight. And okay, Linda just asked, why are they waiting so long to do a double? Okay, you guys, hear me out right now. We haven't had a double yet, which makes me think, are we having a double? Like, what's happening? This is prank week. What if nobody goes home this week? What if this whole prank week is a big old prank on them and us, and no one gets evicted? Then we would be set up for a solid double eviction the next week or the couple weeks later. What if? crazy. I don't know. I'm kind of excited about prank week. Like, what does that mean? I really don't want to be disappointed. I want good pranks. I'm already enjoying the pie prank that the three have. Happens to be Cliff's Angels. Cliff, Nicole, and Jess are the three lowest in the HOH. And they have to make whipped cream pies and throw it in somebody's face. So far, it was mostly like, put it in your own face, put it in each other's face, put it in each other's face slow motion. But in the middle of the night, they did have to go do other people, because I was like, are they ever going to do other people? And in the middle of the night, they like surprise attacked people, and Tommy like legitimately was surprise attacked and got really mad. That's funny. Yes, Michelle, like a reset week. Like, oh my gosh, you guys, what if that's what's happening? I don't know. Wait, Seth, the rules on the CBS website of the prankster twist specified that someone would be evicted. Yeah, and Julie did say, oh, I was in the audience last night. We could talk about that. In the audience, in real life, I heard Julie say, and, next Thursday, someone will be evicted. But, it's a prank. It's prank week. You can say, haha, that was a prank. No one's evicted, right? Isn't that how pranks work? Ooh. What else was I going to say? Yeah, exactly. Nuts. Crazy. Yeah. I really, really, sitting in the audience last night, wanted so badly to yell. It would have only been to Sis, and all she would have done is told the jury, so it really wasn't worth me getting booted out of CBS. But I wanted so badly to be like, Sis, tell everyone they know each other, as they like drag me out of the audience. Ugh. I was like leaning over to David being like, I'm going to do it, but I'm not really going to do it. Not going to do it. Oh, Nicholas, how about a recast week? That would be a great prank. That would be a prank on the house guests, but not on us, right? We'd love it. Fondi did not win a shirt. They were throwing out shirts, and Jolene did catch one, and she gave it to the person over there. So I didn't get a shirt. Oh, well. I did see the back of our heads. I put that picture out. I hope you guys saw it. I had to like scrub through the whole episode to be like, where are they? There were no shots, of people's faces at all I don't think in last night's episode. I didn't see many. And, but I did see, luckily David's head was really easy to spot. And I knew which row we were in, so I knew exactly where to look. I put that picture out for you. Yes. Yes, you're talking about the gasp in the audience. Okay, this was the best part of being in the audience last night. I talked about this a little bit, but so when we first get seated in the audience, sorry, my legs are sticking to the chair. When we first were seated in the audience, there's a warm-up guy who's like, who watches the live feeds? And obviously Jolene, David, and I are like us, and then like maybe two other people in the whole audience raised their hand, and he was like, he made a joke, and he's like, oh, those are the unemployed people, whatever, joke on us. And then he was like, so who thinks Christie's going home tonight? And like the whole audience is like, yeah. And we were like, huh? And then he was like, who thinks Sis is going home tonight? And the three of us and like those two other people were like, yeah. And people were like, what? And he was like, and those were the exact people who watched the live feeds. And we were like, yes. He said, things have changed. And I was like yelling in my seat. I was like, things have changed. You guys need to watch the live feeds. The girl in front of me was like, really? What? And she was one of the guests. The girl right in front of me. And then there was someone over to our left who, when Holly, because Holly was like the third person. So I think we got a Sis vote first, a Christie vote, right? And then the third vote was a Sis vote. And we had already told you guys, audience, that it was going to be Sis, but they didn't believe us. And the girl in front of me goes, and I was like, it like made me, I didn't make a noise, but it made me go, because that was so loud. And I can also see Holly go, Like, she just had that, like, moment of terror, and I was like, oh. And I turned to David, and I was like, that's gonna fester in Holly. Like, that she's a good person to hear the audience, because she's so scared. She will just let that stuff in her head, and she has mentioned it a few times. Oh, it was so fun to hear that in the audience. Donna says, how early did you have to be at the studio for filming? We were guests of production, so we didn't have to be there too early. We got there at 4 to check in, and then at 5, they load us into the audience, and because then at 6 is when they shoot the live show. So it's really not that long at all. Seth says, how was this extended interview? Yeah, so after the show is over, getting a call. Sorry. After the show is over, they said, audience, just stay there. They actually, like, rushed Sis off the stage. It was interesting to see, like, this bouncer type guy, like, jumped up and, like, grabbed her. Like, as soon as the first short part of the interview was over, the camera then, like, just goes to Julie, and so she's like, and then next coming up, blah, 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 whatever, HOH competition, and they, like, grab Sis, and she's like, whoa, and, like, rushed off the stage to, like, be isolated, because then we were going into the HOH competition, which she can't know anything about. So then when the show, like, is over, they say stay in your seats. They bring Sis back out for the extended interview, and, you know, she doesn't have a ton to say. I'm sure it's posted by now. You guys can go see it. But, you know, she's like, I don't know, I'm just confused, I don't know. But she did talk about how much she loves Tommy. Again, everyone loves Tommy. If he gets to Final 2, I'm sure he has her vote. She's like, Tommy is just my favorite person in the whole wide world. Like, he's so great. We got to see the goodbye messages. I think they played all of them. And so, yeah, it was interesting to just see. And we mentioned this in our video last night, but once that interview was over, Julie's social media people come out and they're like, we're going to take pictures. And Sis is like, a phone. She's like literally like in awe over a phone. It was very cute. Very, very cute. What else do you guys want to know about being in the audience? Because I forget to tell you things. Jolene said that most of the people love Christie. I didn't really? I don't think so. A lot of people... Well, there was one obnoxious guy that was sitting behind us who was very loud, and he was like, I love Christie. Like, David at one point was like, you need to shut it. Not to his face, but, like, to me, he was like, he needs to shut it. He was very loud and obnoxious. He liked Christie, but I feel like most of the audience was, I mean, part of that gasp was because they really wanted her to go. Like, they were bummed that Christie wasn't evicted last night. Yeah, they went to a Sis eviction party thinking it was a Christie eviction party. How was Julie's crazy hair in person? Actually, I thought it was beautiful in person. I was super disappointed in her outfit, but I thought her hair looked gorgeous. She walked out, and I thought she was wearing a big white t-shirt over her dress or her outfit to, like, protect it. And then I was like, oh, wait, no, that's her outfit. Right? Didn't that look weird to you guys? I was just like, what is this top? I don't know. But she's gorgeous. She's stunning. Her face, amazing. So professional, so beautiful. And Sis, obviously, beautiful too. Hi, Sarah Vach. That's how I say your name. Is that right? I don't know. How much interaction does the audience have with Julie? A little bit. So during each commercial break, there's a person in Julie's ear. So she'll walk out to her mark, and she'll be saying her lines, and she'll be talking to someone in her ear. We can't fully, because it's not on the loudspeaker, so we can't fully hear what she's saying, but she's having a full-on conversation, being like, okay, and then I'll say this, and then I'll walk over here, and, like, they're talking together. So every once in a while, she'll then turn to the warm-up man, who will be like, right, Julie, we think this, and she'll talk to us a little bit. And she was having a sore throat, so she was like, I'm not going to talk very much. I'm saving my voice. And she told us about going to the doctor and getting antibiotics. And, you know, so she talked to us just a little bit. And she would kind of make, oh, she likes Holly. Okay, so this came up. The warm-up guy said something about, like, Julie and I were just talking about how we think Holly's a dark horse. And Julie was like, yeah, that's about all the information we got. I was like, no, she's not. No. I didn't agree with much of what the warm-up guy was obviously a casual, and I don't mean that in any rude way. I think he just watches for his job, but he was throwing out information that I was like, this isn't correct. You're wrong. But that's because I have a loud mouth. Michelle, are you saying on-camera audiences where I've gotten your tickets? Yeah, so on-camera audiences, the company that does audience people, they have a wait list. Go sign up. Jolene talked about how she did it that way previously and went one day and like waited in line, didn't get in, but then went a second time, waited in line and did get in. So I know it's not like super easy, but give it a shot. Like if you can do it, do it. Okay, some of you guys are just joining and saying who won Prankster. Nick won Prankster. Okay, I said that like I'm really excited. I'm only excited because it's just like disruptive. I know not everybody loves that idea, but okay. Is that all the audience questions? Yeah, Tommy's cry is just an act. Ugh, he does cry a lot as an act, so I can't tell. Are there breaks during the filming so you can use the restroom? No, they tell you use the restroom beforehand because it's just like a live show is very timed and you cannot get up. Those commercial breaks are just like 2 minutes. Not a lot of time to like get up and move around. Nicholas said, how did you get tickets? We were a guest of production because I know someone from production. Can't talk about her much, but I got a little bit of insight. Don't ever want to get her in trouble. But yeah, you guys go to On Camera Audience and, you know, try to get tickets. Faux show. Okay. Katie, will anyone put Tommy up? Nope, never. Cliff and Nicole are the only two who have ever even mentioned about putting Tommy up. And yeah, so they'd have to win. Okay, let's talk about this fight. Stephanie brought it up a while ago. Now I'm getting back to it. So the fight was about that little conversation that Nick and Christie had right before HOH, so it wasn't on feeds. We didn't get to see it. And Nick said that Christie came to him and was like, we're good. I'll throw this comp to you. Without using the word throw. But that was the vibe. You got this. We're good. And Nick, that's how Nick related to Holly. Christie relayed the same conversation to Holly with, and he tried to tell me to throw it to him. And like, no way would I throw it to him. So Holly and Jackson were like, Micah, Sarah, you're not allowed to talk about production. Exactly. So Holly and Jackson wanted to clarify who's lying, first off. But they also want to continue pitting Christie versus Nick. Holly's very scared to get any blood on her hands. She knows she has to put up Nick, but she's scared to put up Nick. She does not want to do this. And so they really need this fight between Christie and Nick to continue so that Holly can just be like, look, you lied about this. Christie proved this. Like, I had to put you up. That's really what Holly and Jackson were trying to do. So they brought Christie up first, said, hey, Nick said these things. And of course, Christie's like, bring him up here. Let's go. I would never. So they eventually bring Nick up. And Christie was like, I want this to be peaceful. I want this to be calm. But here's all the things that you said that are lies. And this 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 and this. And he's like, and she's like, la, 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 la. This is what you're saying. This is what you mean. I'm never going to let you talk. I'm going to tell you what you're going to say and what you mean, and la 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 la. And that was it. It wasn't like a huge fight because Nick couldn't get a lot of words in, and also he was like probably just so defeated, and also he knows he's prankster. So he's like, yeah, okay, well, if that's how I heard it. I'm sorry if that was not how you meant it. That's how I heard it. Never said you would throw it, but I did say, you said we were good, so I thought you were saying that. And she was like, yeah, we're good. Like in life, we're good. And he was like, okay, if that's fine, okay, Nick, that's fine. So Holly was kind of like, you know, you might go up. And he's like, I know, put me up, whatever. And he like walked out of the room. Evan is asking me who I voted for Prankster. I'm going to be honest with you guys. I couldn't decide if I wanted Nicole to get it or Nick. And so I started voting for Nicole. And then I like was torn. So I gave 6 votes to Nicole and I gave 4 votes to Nick. And I was just like, oh, I don't know what I did. And I shut my laptop and that's what I did. And I didn't wake up early enough to vote again today. So I only voted that one time. And so I don't know. I did give 4 votes to Nick. I'm partially to blame if you're mad about this. I just could not figure out what I wanted to do. Amy is saying if Holly's scared to put someone up, then puts up a lame nomination she doesn't deserve to win. I mean, I think she's going to still put up Nick. I don't think it's going to be a bad nomination, but she just wants to make sure there's other chaos, there's other people fighting. She literally wanted to keep Christie to go after Nick, and then she accidentally won HOH. So, like, she wanted Christie to take that hit. She doesn't want to take it, you know what I mean? So, that's why I don't hate Holly's game, but I don't love it. Like, I don't think she's the best in the house because she is legitimately scared to make moves, and that's boring. Can Nick be safe if he's the prankster? Amy asks. No, he is he's more than likely going up on the block and he is not safe. He just gets a little bit of power, which is fun, I think, for the person who's going to also be on the block. You know what I mean? AB, who is Jess allied with? Well, allied is an interesting word because I think it was Wednesday night show when Jess in the DR was like, I hate that Christie's on the block because she's one of my allies. And I was like, do you know what ally means? She might be one of your friends, but I don't think anyone is actually aligned with Jess. Although Cliff and Nicole technically have that alliance with her, Cliff's Angels, but they know that she has been a bit, I don't want to use the word shady, but they don't know where her head's at because she's so in love and obsessed with Christie that they don't know if they can rely on her vote. They don't know if she's fully aligned with them. So Jess is a toughie to read, you know what I mean? All I can tell you is that she loves Christie. Oh, Michelle, you did the same. A combo of Nick Nicole vote. Exactly. I just didn't know which way we were going. She's not really aligned with anyone. And who was it? Oh my gosh, I'm sorry. I forgot who it was today who tweeted to me that everyone was going to find out about Nick being the prankster except they'll forget to tell Jess. And I just like died laughing because no one's thinking about her. No one considers her at all. Seth, very good question. Why does Jess suddenly hate Nicole? And it's because Nicole told her about that deal last week when Nicole felt so bad that Jess was being left out of that deal that Nick and Sis and Tommy and Cliff and Nicole, that like new 6. She felt so bad. She told Jess, and Jess is mad at she's shooting the messenger. She's mad at Nicole about that, and even said eventually, like after she calmed down and they could talk, it took a few days for them to even talk, but Jess was like, I don't think you should have told me that. No. I mean, who in the Big Brother house doesn't want information right there? That's what. But also in life, like, don't you want to know? No, she didn't want to know, and she's mad at Nicole for telling her. Yeah, all she did was tell the truth. And because she felt bad. But no, anyway. I don't know why people love Christie, and really it's just Jess right now. Everyone's kind of on Christie, or on to her, I should say. Thank you, Classic Joe. I'm so glad you found us too. Katie, do you think Jackson is safe this week? Honestly, he's not 100% safe because Nick might have put him up as the prankster. I think he's either putting Christie or Jackson up. And if let's say he put Christie up and Christie wins and comes down, I think he has to put Jackson up as the renom. He has to put someone else big next to him that he can convince is a target. So Jackson is not 100% safe. He could technically go out on Holly's HOH. Sharon says, what were you hoping Nicole would do if she won Prankster? That was my problem. Like, I want Nicole to win something because I adore her, but I don't think she would have done any big move because it's not her HOH, you know? I think she would have wanted, because she's currently working with Holly as of just a few days ago. So I think she would have gone to Holly and been like, look, I'm the prankster. Let's work together. Who do you want me to put up? And that would have been smart for Nicole's game. So that was part of me like, I don't think it's worth giving her this, because she would have had to do that to like protect her game. Linda says Jackson's the new Cody. I love to hate him. Very, very similar casting there. Do I think Nicole should play this veto? I mean, I'd love for her to play something and win, but she doesn't need to win this veto, so we don't need her involved. This is one she can sit out and just not get involved, and that's better for her game. So not this one for sure. Nick should nom Jackson and maintain the anonymity. I think it's a valid strategy. I should say Ika online or Twitter, she tweeted that if she were Nick and won the prankster, she would have gone to Holly and been like, look, I'm the prankster. I'm going to put up Jackson unless you promise not to put me up. And I'm like, baller move. There is literally no one in BB21 who would even think about doing that. Because that's such great negotiation tool. Like, to be like, all right, so I know you probably want to put me on the block, but if you do, I'm going to put up Jackson. You keep me safe, I keep him safe. Like, he could have done that, and I don't even think he thought of it. But yes, keep it a secret for sure. I just want it to be a secret for us. You know, if he's not going to publicly do it to, like, up his game, then keep it a secret. I just want to see if this house can keep anything a secret. I don't think they can. Sarah, such a good question. Also, such a good name. Which house guests have you changed your opinion on the most? Oh, Jack. I legitimately thought he was so hot pre the show. And then a few weeks in, I was like disgusted to even look at him. I still adore Nicole, but she's not, you know, playing in an amazing game, which is a bummer. But yeah, Jack for sure. Who do I think are the contenders for America's Favorite Player? Tommy, Cliff, and Nicole. Those are the people getting the cute edits, you know. Tracy, what if Nick gets put up by Holly? He's more than likely being put up by Holly, but he still gets to put up whoever he wants as a prankster. So he just has to think of it that way, as that he's going to be the other one on the block. Oh my gosh, Linda, thank you. Poor Cat in the Jury House with Jack and says, I meant to say that on our video last night. That is the only thing I could think of, is that Sis is going to show up and Cat's going to be like, are you kidding me? And she's going to be the third wheel, and it's going to be horrible for Cat. I feel so bad for her. CK, what if Nick nominates Jackson and frames it on Cliff Nicole because the house knows America loves them? Yeah, I mean, he could, but Nick is somewhat aligned with Cliff and Nicole. So I wouldn't recommend that he burn that bridge. You know what I mean? Like, he kind of needs... Of all the people in the house, they like him the most. You know, they're not going to publicly align with him, but they like him more than anyone else in the house. Except Tommy likes him too. So I don't know. He could work the votes this week. He could definitely switch things around and get votes. Stephanie, has noms still not happened? I don't think so. I haven't been alerted that, I mean, noms are happening right now is what I mean. Like, the feeds haven't come back as far as I can tell. So I have them turned off right now. But I started this live right when the feeds went down for noms. So they should be coming back soon, and we will find out who it is. I'm going to guess Nick is on the block and Christie's on the block as Nick's nom. That's what I think. But it could be Jackson. I don't know. Linda, you would love a Tommy and Cliff final two. I mean, honestly, that's a valid final two where they both have a good case. So that would be interesting. And then we'd just see where the votes land. That would be, I would prefer Cliff and Nicole, but I would be okay with Tommy. I mean, Tommy's just playing the best game. He's literally playing the best game. So, Amy, who's my favorite player? I think my favorite player is Nicole because I love her, but my favorite game is Cliff and Tommy. They're playing the best game in my opinion, but I adore Nicole. I think I just relate to Nicole. She and I are very similar, so I love that about her. Ooh, maybe he could frame it on Christie. I'd love for him to be smart enough to do something like that, but I don't have high hopes. Nick can't pull himself off the block unless he wins veto, correct? Tracy asks, and that is correct. He does not have the power to take himself off the block. Yeah, Linda, if Nicole could win the HOH in a double eviction and just like quickly get out Christie or Tommy, mwah, perfect. And that's enough for her to win the whole game. If that one big move, whoever gets Tommy and Christie out has a lot to put on their resume at final two, because those are the biggest, they're the hardest to get out of the house. Like Vanessa's season, when Steve got Vanessa out, like that was the move. That's all he had to do to win. Very impressive if they can get them out, because it's going to be hard to get them out. I don't know who I'm voting for America's favorite player yet. I'll wait till the end to make that decision. What have I not talked about yet? Talked about being in the audience. Talked about the fight. Talked about the possibilities. Fonda, Christie's dragging Tommy down. I think he knows that. But he obviously can't do much about it. You know, he has to pretend he's with her, although in the house, because of that loudspeaker incident, they definitely have separated. They definitely don't want people to think they're together. And people don't. When Jackson and Holly were talking about flipping the vote to keep Christie and evict Sis, they kept saying Sis, Tommy, Nick is a trio. And nowhere in their head are they really aware of how close Tommy and Christie are. If they knew that, it might be a different story. But they don't fully understand it. Tommy and Christie are playing it off fairly well. So, again, more reason they should be final two. I enjoy Tommy just fine. Christie's definitely dragging down his game. But also Christie's playing a great game for herself. It's just not really helping Tommy. So he needs to get rid of her. And also Tommy needs to find a goat now. Like Sis was his perfect final two. The other two people that could be considered goats at this time are Nicole and Jess, right? They're the two who are like under the radar. So he has to sort of, what I'm interested to see is, does he buddy up with one of them to be like his final two, you know? That's what I'm interested to see. Donna, did we go out to eat after the filming? No, we had to rush home to do our video, but Jolene and I went out to eat before the show, and David had to work, so he met us after that. So yeah, Jolene and I had a little lunch, then we went to the show, but then David and I had to rush back to do last night's video for you guys. RH, thank you so much. I'm so glad that you found us and enjoy us. We appreciate that. Jolene, oh, Mark, Jolene told you about us. Thank you. I know, Jolene, we have Betty Rubble. Betty Rubble, like the cartoon character, or is that, who's Betty Rubble? Wait, what was I talking about? Sometimes I forget what I'm talking about. Probably Tommy and Nicole and all of them. Oh, how long have I known Jolene? Well, we've known each other online for about a year, but this is the first summer that we met in person. When she came on, when David was out of town, I asked her to come on and be my co-host, and that was the first time that we met in person. So we were just like, why don't we hang out and be friends? Like, we live very close to each other. We should actually be friends in real life. So now we are friends in real life. Yay! Yeah, okay, it is the Flintstone character. That's what I thought, but I was like, wait, is there a real person? I've never been told that I remind someone of a cartoon character, so that just threw me. Is it because of my top knot? Is that why? I should have a bone sticking through it? Fred says, I don't understand why America felt sorry for Nick to vote him as the prankster. I don't think we voted for him because we felt sorry for him. I think we saw the fight this week and we knew he was going to be the target. And I think we just kind of like to root for underdogs, and he's the underdog at this moment. So we wanted to give him a power. That's usually how it goes. We usually give votes and powers to people who are the underdogs because we like power shifts and we like this sort of back and forth. If we just did everything on one side, it would be one-sided and boring. So I think that's why he got the votes. Not like we like you, not you're a favorite, not sympathy, just for game. That's all. Linda, if Tommy wins that final HOH, would he choose Christie to take to the final two? Not at all. It would be hard for him, but he will say, I'm so sorry, I can't win next to you. I have to cut you right now. She'll never talk to him again because she's so full of herself, but whatever. Cut that loss. Let it go. Win the money, Tommy. Don't sit next to her. I think he's smarter than that. He knows this game. He's way smarter than that. Yeah, the hair and the blue dress. Okay, got it. You guys, we have fun, right? This is fun. What about Paul's game? Oh, Jillian from BB19 says the whole house are idiots except Nicole. Well, I think the whole house is liked less than Nicole, I think is what most people are saying. Michelle wanted Nick to put up Christie or Jackson. I think that's what he's going to do. I think we're going to see it. And Tracy's saying that's why Nicole deserved Prankster. Yeah, it's valid to vote for her just to give her something, but I don't think it would have helped her game, so I'm okay with her not, being in the middle of this and potentially getting blamed for anything. It's safer for her to not be the prankster. Oh yeah, Seth is talking about my mystery window. If you go to my Instagram, which is Nerdtainment on IG, I did a little tour of redesigning the studio, and I show what the window is. It's saved as a story highlight, so you can go and see what it is. But I have stairs. I'm in a 2-story townhouse, and these are the stairs up to the second floor. And this was like some added-on room where, for whatever reason, they built it and put a window over the stairs. Interesting. But yeah, you can see it if you go to Nerdtainment on IG, my Instagram. Yoshi says, I think everyone except Nicole is dumb. I don't know if everyone is dumb, but they're not all playing great games. We can definitely say that. Some people are better than others at this whole Big Brother game thing. CW, Holly was saying on a feed to Cliff that she thought Christie and Nick's fight could have been to throw them. I think she was just trying to save herself and she was mad at Nick. Yeah, no, Holly was getting concerned about Christie already, just a few hours after she saved her, and was saying, like, she's already worrying me. She's already scary. She's like, for all I know, she and Nick could have orchestrated this whole thing, and they're working together. And that is a valid theory. That is a scenario. But it's not real, but it could be. And I think that they could start working because, again, Christie goes with the wind. She'll love you 1 second, and she'll literally love you 1 second, and then she'll hate you the next. So at any moment, she could be working with Nick again. When Holly turns the second key, Nick's nom photo will appear, correct? Yes. I don't know if so I know that they were all called into the DR, and Nick came out and said, "Thank you, America." So we know he got it. Then they did a second round of DRs. I'm sure they did that to just throw us off or throw the house guests off on who it is, because the second round of noms, Nick had to say, the second round of DRs, Nick is giving his noms. So it would have been obvious if they just called Nick in a second time. Then they'd be like, oh, obviously he's the prankster. So they did a whole second round of DRs. Nick, I'm sure, gave his nom, is what I'm guessing. And then the feeds cut. That's when Holly is going to go into the DR, do her noms, and I don't know if at that time production is going to say, okay, the second face you're going to see is so-and-so, Christie or Jackson. I don't know if she'll get that heads up, or if literally when she turns the key, they'll be like, and the second nom from a prankster is this. We'll hear about that. We'll figure it out. That's what I did not know. Brooklyn, welcome, because yes, we know that Nick is the prankster. Nick is the prankster. Evitt says, is David my husband? No, he is not. There is a video on my YouTube that explains how we know each other, how we met, and that we are not married. You can find that on Nerdtainment. Okay, so people are joining now and asking who the prankster is and who noms are. And, oh, look, we just got it. Holly nominated Nick for eviction. America's Prankster nominated Christie for eviction. So, Nick and Christie are on the block. Nick was the prankster, and so far nobody knew that. He put Christie up. That's going to kind of give it away, because people are going to be like, obviously Nick would put up Christie. So I don't know if he's going to be able to really, pretend through it, act his way through it and be like, no, it wasn't me. He might eventually give in and be like, yeah, it was me. I put you up. What are you going to do? So who's going home? I don't know, because who's going to win veto? Here's the thing. If Nick wins veto and takes himself down, the whole house has to scramble because he's the public target, right? If Christie wins veto, then Nick gets to put somebody else up. And he could put up Jackson. He could put up another target and be like, look, it's not me. Jackson and Holly are a duo, whatever. He can campaign against that. So this is awesome week. Right now, we're starting off with an awesome week. Could turn out horribly. But having Nick and Christie on the block is amazing. Christie's going to freak out. Get mad. David, what's up? You're in the chat. Hey! Yay! David, are you so excited that Nick put Christie up? David's like, please give me another chance to get her out. David was so sad we were not at a Christie eviction party last night. If Christie comes down, he puts probably another big target up. But if Christie stays, I think he still has a valid campaign against her. And, he could get Cliff and Nicole. Cliff and Nicole are not super aligned with Christie. They've been closer to Nick lately. I think the votes are totally up in the air at this time. So this veto is going to be super, super important. I'm super excited. So I think I'm going to wrap this up. Yep, David's at work. Thank you for joining us, David. Yay! I'm going to wrap this up so that I can go watch the feeds and see if it is revealed, if Nick can keep this a secret, and see if Christie's freaking out, see what drama happened. But thank you guys so much. This was so much fun. I'm so glad we have fun stuff to talk about. This week is super exciting. Remember to like this video, please. And if you are not subscribed, subscribe, because we talk about such exciting stuff. So join our little community, and also follow Sarah Big Brother on Twitter, because I tweet all this stuff all day, every day. It's sometimes annoying. And David, don't get in trouble at work. All right, guys. I'll talk to you later. Thank you. Bye.